The Labuan Trust Act 1996 was introduced to provide a strong legal foundation for the establishment and regulation of trust in Labuan, enhancing its role as an international financial hub. Firstly, the Act creates a clear legal framework ensuring that trusts are valid, enforceable, and trusted by investors. Secondly, it provides structured regulation and administration with the Labuan Financial Services Authority, overseeing trust creation, registration, and termination to promote compliance and prevent mismanagement. Thirdly, the Act emphasizes the protection of assets and beneficiaries, safeguarding trust property from foregoing claims, securing beneficiary rights, and offering asset protection against creditors where no fraud exists. Finally, the Act strengthens Labuan's position as a competitive global financial center, encouraging estate planning, asset protection, and philanthropy while attracting international investors with his flexibility and confidentiality. Collectively, these purposes make Labuan a trusted jurisdiction for wealth and trust management. Next, we go through the purpose of Trust Labuan Act 1996. Firstly, provide a legal framework for the creation and regulation of trust in Labuan. Before the Act, Malaysia did not have a specific law tailored for international or offshore trusts. The Act ensured that trusts established in Labuan are legally recognized, valid, and enforceable under Malaysian law. This gives confidence to investors, settlers, and beneficiaries that their trust arrangements are protected by statute. Secondly, regulate the registration, administration, and termination of Labuan Trust. The Act set out clear products for how a trust can be created, registered with the Labuan Financial Services Authority, and eventually terminated. It ensures that all trusts follow proper governance, reducing risk of fraud or mismanagement. This structured regulation makes Labuan an attractive jurisdiction for international wealth management. Third, protect trust property and beneficiaries. The Act protects trust assets from foregoing claims and judgments that conflict with Malaysian law. It also safeguards beneficiaries' rights, ensuring trusts act responsibly in a good faith. It offers protection against creditors in cases where trusts were not created with fraudulent intent. Next, allow creation of different types of trusts. The Act gives flexibility by allowing various forms of trust. First, purpose trust. For specific law objective, even is not creditable. Creditable trust for community welfare such as education, poverty, eradication, religion, and environment. Protective trust protect assets from irresponsible beneficiaries of creditors. Labuan Special Trust often used for holding company share in a way that separates control from ownership. This variety caters to device needs such as estate planning, philanthropy, and business structuring. Lastly, strengthen Labuan as an international financial hub. By aligning with global best practice, the Act enhances Labuan's competitiveness against other offshore jurisdictions such as Jersey. It attracts international investors, high net worth individuals, and multinational corporations to use Labuan for trust and wealth management services. This contributes to Malaysia's financial sector growth and global reputation.
Now, let's look at the main types of trust under the Labuan Trust Act. First, we have purpose trust. These trusts are set up for a specific purpose. For example, a company might create a trust to hold funds for an education project, and the assets must be used for that purpose only. Second, discretionary trust. They think of this like a treasure chest, where the trustee holds the key. The trustee decides who among the beneficiaries will get the benefit, how much, and when. So, beneficiaries cannot demand anything directly. It's all at the trustee's discretion. Third, charitable trusts. These are established for charity and public benefits like funding schools, hospital, or environmental projects. The goal here is to benefit society and not individuals. Last but not least, protective or spendthrift trust. These are meant to protect beneficiaries who may be careless with money or who have debt. Imagine a beneficiary who spends recklessly or gambles. This trust makes sure the assets controlled and not wasted. Now, let's go through some of the key provisions under the Act. First is a creation process. To set up a Labuan trust, it must be in writing through a deed, will, or declarations and registered with the Labuan Financial Services Authority. Just like starting a new company, you need proper documents and registration for it to be valid. Second, duties and powers of trustees. Trustees are like guardians of their trust. They must act honestly, manage the assets carefully, and can invest the assets as long as it follow the trust rules. They also have powers like appointing a protector or agents to assist them. Third, beneficiaries and confidentiality. Beneficiaries have the right to receive benefits and certain information. At the same time, law provides strong confidentiality. Trust information cannot be disclosed to outsiders. And lastly, asset protection. This is one of the biggest attractions of a Labuan trust. Assets are protected from creditors, foreign inheritance claims, or divorce settlements. For example, if someone tries to sue or seize the assets, the trust serves as a shield. Protective trusts also ensure that a spendthrift beneficiary cannot waste the wealth. So these four points are the backbones of how Labuan trusts work.
My name is Nona Diramiti Muhammad and my numbermetry is A24B2919. So this is a regulatory oversight under the Labuan Trust Act 1996. First, administration of the Act. The Labuan Financial Service Authority, Labuan FSA, is entrusted with the responsibility to administer and enforce the provisions of the Labuan Trust Act 1996. This means that every Labuan trust must comply with the rules, guidelines, and legal framework set out by Labuan FSA, ensuring that trusts are properly established, managed, and monitored in accordance with the law. Second, authorized officer. Labuan FSA has the power to appoint authorized officer who act on its behalf to perform supervisory and enforcement duties. These officers are empowered to assess records, examine compliance, and carry out regulatory functions necessary to ensure that trustees and trust companies operate within the legal boundaries of the Act. Third, role of the Minister of Finance. While Labuan FSA directly oversees the implementation of the Act, the Minister of Finance provides overall direction and control. This reflects a higher level of accountability and ensures that regulatory oversight is consistent with Malaysia's financial policies and national interests. And lastly, purpose of oversight. The main purpose of regulatory oversight is to safeguard the integrity of the trust system. It ensures compliance with the law, promotes transparency in trust administration, and strengthens investor confidence. At the same time, oversight helps prevent the misuse of trust for illegal or fraudulent purpose thereby protecting beneficiaries and maintaining Labuan's reputation as a credible international financial center. Now, relevance to Islamic finance. First, legal backbone for Islamic trust. The Labuan Trust Act provides a strong legal framework that can accommodate Sharia-compliant trust. This is important because it allows Islamic entrustment such as wakaf, zakat or family trust to be structured in a legally recognized manner. By having this backbone, Muslim investors and institutions can ensure their work is managed in accordance with both civil law and Islamic principles. Second, regulatory oversight by Labuan FSA. Labuan FSA plays a curricular role in ensuring that all trusts, including Sharia-compliant ones, are properly monitored and supervised. This oversight promotes transparency, accountability, and compliance with regulations, which are all values that align with Islamic ethics. At the same time, it helps to build trust and confidence among Muslim investors who want to ensure their investments are managed responsibly and in line with Sharia. And then, flexibility with Sharia contracts. One of the strengths of the Labuan Trust framework is its flexibility to be structured with different Sharia-based contracts such as Mudarabah, Musyarakah, or other Islamic agreements. This makes it easier for Islamic finance institutions to design product and work management solutions that are fully aligned with Islamic commercial law while still benefiting from the protection of the Act. Lastly, support Islamic wealth management. The Labuan Trust Act also supports broader Islamic wealth management objectives. For example, it facilitates charitable and philanthropic purposes such as wakaf and zakat, which are central to Islamic social finance. This aligns with the Maqasid al-Sharia, or the higher objective of Islamic law, which emphasizes justice, wealth distribution, and social welfare. By enabling these structures, the Act helps position Labuan as an important hub for international Islamic finance.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Nurin Abdul Nukma binti Muhammad Separ Ramdan, A24A3631. Now, let's look at the benefits and challenges of the Labuan Trust Act 1996. The first benefit is international recognition. Labuan is an established international financial hub. Trusts set up here are widely recognized by global investors, which builds confidence among both conventional and Islamic finance clients. The second benefit is strong asset protection. The Act provides solid legal protection for assets placed under trust. This is especially useful for high net worth individuals or families who want to safeguard wealth for future generations. Lastly, flexibility for Islamic and conventional users. Another strength is flexibility. Trusts can be tailored either for conventional financial planning or structured according to Sharia principles, making them suitable for Muslim investors as well. Next, we go to challenges. The first challenge is compliance costs. Of course, compliance isn't free. Trustees and beneficiaries must meet regulatory requirements, which may increase administrative and legal costs. Next is need for Sharia oversight. For Islamic trusts, there must be proper Sharia governance. Without oversight, there's a risk that the trust may not fully comply with Islamic principles. The last one is risk of misuse. Finally, like any financial structure, trust can be misused for money laundering or hiding assets. That's why regulators enforce strict monitoring under LFSA. So, while the Act offers many opportunities, we must also recognize these challenges to ensure trust remain effective and compliant with both international and Islamic standards.
Here is a simple case example. Imagine a Malaysian Muslim businessman, Mr. Irfan, who owns significant assets, both in Malaysia and overseas. He is concerned about how his wealth will be divided after his death, and he wants to ensure that the distribution is done according to Sharia law, specifically the Faraid system. To achieve this, Mr. Irfan establishes a Labuan Islamic Trust under the Labuan Trust Act 1996, also known as Act 554. He appoints a Labuan Trust Company as the trustee, and he clearly states in the trust deed that all assets must be distributed according to Islamic inheritance rules. Now, what does this mean for his family? There are several key benefits. First, the trust guarantees that the distribution is Sharia compliance, ensuring fairness and order. Second, it helps prevent disputes among family members. Third, the trust provides assets protection, keeping wealth safe from external claims such as creditor. Fourth, the process is faster and smoother compared to the long court probate procedures. And finally, it is highly suitable for cross-border assets, since the trust is recognized internationally. In short, by using the Labuan Islamic Trust, Mr. Irfan achieved peace of mind knowing his wealth will be handled properly, and his family gains security with an orderly, fair, and efficient inheritance process. Thank you. To conclude our presentation on the Labuan Trust Act 1996, this act provides a clear legal framework to create and manage trust in Labuan. It plays an important role in protecting assets and beneficiaries, making sure wealth is safe and distributed fairly. One of the strengths of this act is its flexibility. It works for both conventional and Islamic finance, which makes it suitable for different needs. At the same time, it helps to strengthen the Labuan position as an international financial hub, attracting more investors globally. By promoting transparency and good governance, it also builds investor confidence. However, it is important to note that the Act still requires strong oversight to prevent any misuse and to ensure Sharia compliance for Islamic trusts. So, overall, the Labuan Trust Act 1996 provides protection, flexibility, and global recognition, but it must be carefully monitored to stay effective.